Jimmy McKinn was just 11 years old when he was kidnapped from the family farm in southwest New Mexico. Jimmy's 17-year-old brother was found shot dead. Geronimo and his warriors were on the warpath as they were fleeing to Mexico from their reservation. They killed anyone they came across. General George Crook and U.S. cavalry pursued the Apaches into Mexico. After months on the run, Geronimo's band had dwindled to just a few warriors, women, and children. Crook caught up with Geronimo in 1886 in Sonora, Mexico. As Geronimo was at a distinct disadvantage, he surrendered peacefully. The famous photographer C.S. Fly was traveling with Crook, and he took this photograph of Jimmy McKinn with Apache children. On the way to Fort Bowie, Jimmy, when told he was being taken back to his mother and father, cried and hollered in the Apache language as he wanted to stay with his native captors. A reporter also traveling with Crook wrote, "This poor child, scaly with dirt, wild as a coyote, made my eyes a bit damp. His is a pathetic case. He has had to share their long marches, their scanty and uninviting fare, and all the hardships of such a life, no doubt, but he has not been maltreated." A large crowd gathered at Deming Railroad Station to see the reunion of Jimmy and his father. One witness said his face was very much sunburnt, and the marks of exposure were plainly visible on him. He readily answered every question put to him in Spanish, but when spoken to in the English, would answer no sabe, signifying he did not understand that language. He said that Geronimo killed his brother Martin and took his coat and pants off, and that upon hearing the shot which killed his brother, he hid in the brush, but was found by the Indians and put upon a horse and taken along. The little fellow was required to work carrying wood for campfires, herding and hunting horses. One day, Geronimo, becoming angry at him, struck him with a gun on the head, knocking him down and severely injuring him. Jimmy grew up and didn't show any negative affects from his time in captivity. He became a blacksmith in Grant County, New Mexico. He married, had children, and died in Phoenix, Arizona in the 1950s.
Queho was a Native American outlaw whose exploits were famous throughout the Old West. He was accused of murdering many innocent people throughout Nevada. The press called him the Mad Indian. He was the first recorded mass murderer in the state. Queho was born an outcast. They considered him a half-breed. His mother was from the Cocopa tribe. His father was unknown. His mother died shortly after birth. Queho took odd jobs around El Dorado Canyon, Nevada. He is said to have killed his half-brother and a 100-year-old blind Indian named Canyon Charlie. Queho had a club foot, which left a distinctive impression when he was being trailed. He is alleged to have eluded posses and killed for food and supplies. Queho was also blamed for the death of Maud J. Douglas at a cabin near the Tecatacup mine in Nelson, Nevada. Settlers said the land was harsh and cursed. They called it the Curse of Queho. Authorities offered a reward of $3,000 for his death or capture. Around 30 people are believed to have died at the hands of Queho, with most being shot in the back or beaten to death. He was linked to the death of local woodcutter Joseph Woodworth near Searchlight, Nevada. A posse, including Indian scouts, followed his distinctive tracks. The tracks led from the woodcutter's body to the gold bug mine, where they found the watchman, Doc Gilbert, shot in the back and his badge torn from his shirt. A short time later, 2 Jenny Springs miners, Hancock and Taylor, were found shot in the back and their provisions stolen. An Indian woman in the area was also found dead, and all these murders were blamed on the outlaw. In 1940, prospectors working near the Colorado River discovered his remains along with Doc Gilbert's badge and other artifacts in a cave. His body was later purchased by Frank Waite, a law officer who had investigated Queho. His body was given to the Elks in Las Vegas, where it was displayed in a lodge and at its annual festival. In 1962, the Elks Lodge disposed of the remains at the county dump. His remains were then found by a man dumping rubbish, and thinking he had stumbled upon a murder, he called police. After a lengthy investigation, Queho remains were then given a proper burial at Cathedral Canyon in Nevada, where he lies to this day.